Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Um, Boy, do I have fun stuff to talk about today. Um, yes, I am early. My hair is all wackadoo. Um, I am early and I am leaving early. So I decided that um, I didn't want to have like a 2 hour stream or 1 hour stream. So I thought I'd bump it back to 1 o'clock, and then something else came up. But we have Pelican Hub is a week from tomorrow, actually. And I didn't realize, it was not in my schedule, that our volunteers are from the club are coming over today to help put together the goodie bags for the registrants. And they're coming over at 4 o'clock ish. And so I thought, well, I can't. And one of them's a really really good friend and customer, and um, just a sweetheart. And I didn't want to be sitting back here yammering on, so I thought, well, I'll end at 4. I'll start at 1. I'll get my 3 hours in. I'll end just before 4. And then something came up with a local estate sale that's tomorrow, but you have to. It's one of these deals where you have to go today to sign up and get on the list. So, and it's, so I got to get there. So I'm not waiting forever tomorrow morning when it starts, because they go in order of the list. So that means I've got about 2 hours and 13 minutes left. For today. So we'll kind of streamline it. So here's the funny thing. So I'm going out to my car in the parking lot, and I've got a couple of water jugs because I bring water in from home for the ultrasonic. And we brought some in for the coffee maker today, just in case the yesterday's experiment didn't go so well. Which I am pleased to say, the Brita filter has done a bang up job, and the coffee is not too bad. It is drinkable. This is my second cup of it, so I guess that makes my 4th cup today, which is probably too much. But so I'm going out to my car, and Lisa says, "Well, come over and we'll figure out, make sure you have cash for the estate sale tomorrow." I grabbed some money from her. I go out to the car. I put out the water bottle jug so I can take them home, and my lunch bag, and things like that. So that way I have less that I have to do later. Because on Thursdays, even though we're going to have people coming at 4, hold that thought. Hello. Hi.
So funny.
You like my finds?
That's so funny.
I am streaming, dude.
I know you are. That's
Well, look at all that.
holy cow.
I mean, I wonder where the rest of I haven't told them about this yet. I'm just getting into it.
All right, well, congrats.
Thank you.
You're funny.
I thought you'd love that.
You look like you were sneaking, like an elf on Christmas morning, like the Grinch on Christmas morning.
We need to get a Spider-Man lunchbox. Yeah. I think I had one as a kid. I can't remember. I was a big Spider-Man fan. So anyway, I'm going out to the car. I'm dropping things in the back of the car, and I see this neon pink sign on the grass in front of the parking lot. And I look at it, and it says estate sale today, 10 to 6. Part of me is thinking, oh well, it's 12:15. All the good stuff is gone. I'm being negative about it. I'm trying not to be negative, because you never know. You never know. I once bought a PFM 2 in gray the last day of a 3-day estate sale for 75 cents. So you never know. And so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, so behind my screen here, I've got a door. And what I like to do in the mornings, after if I get my shipping done, usually I do my shipping. I answer emails. Happy Thursday, fruit jelly. And I get caught up on a couple of things. I got a couple of routine things that I do in the mornings. Then I take a short little break and I usually eat like a protein bar or something. And I'll stand outside. What are we getting into today? We're getting into trouble is what we're getting into. And so I'm standing outside and there's behind the plaza here, and it's a small plaza. It's like 3 suites. Actually, there's 4. I see like a lot of cars and there's homes. So I can see people's backyards, but I'll go out, I'll have my coffee. I'll just take like a 5-minute break. I usually just about every other day I do it. And I'm seeing people walk down the street with like a ladder. One guy walked down the street with a, one of those basketball, portable basketball nets, with the big weight on the bottom. I think, boy, that's weird, right? So when I go out to my car, I see the sign that says estate sale. I'm like, oh, it's literally behind me. What's my profession? I am a professional pen salesman. I sell writing instruments. I repair writing instruments. I sell ink, paper, all sorts of good stuff. So I look it up and I'm like, sure enough, it's a half mile. So, I mean, I could, if I went through the backyard, I would be there in about 3 minutes. But I get in the car and I drive around. I go in and look around. And sure enough, I mean, the place is a disaster. This is not one of these organized sales. This is like almost nothing is marked. And I actually found stuff. And it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. So what did I find? 4 bottles of old Waterman ink. 2 black, 1 Florida blue, 1 blue black. Full bottles of Waterman ink. Okay. Next up, cap actuated 45 jotter lighter. I love this pen. This is maybe the coolest jotter ever.
Ooh, does it make noise?
It does. It's a cap actuated.
I know people hate that.
I love it. This is my favorite model of the 45 jotter, the cap actuated flighter. Hello, McEnthusiast. This guy, all right, good, nice condition. Made in the UK. I'm looking around. Here's a Waterman. I don't remember which Waterman this is. They made so many during this time that were all fairly similar. It's a roller. I don't care. And then what makes me wish I had seen this sign earlier is the next thing is going to blow your mind. This is an entire, I haven't even counted these. Entire bag. A laureate, is that what it is? Yeah. There's like a couple that are very similar. They just have different ribbing sections on the ribbing patterns on the section. An entire bag of black Parker ballpoint refills. And there were only 2 pens. There were only 2 pens worth buying. The rest of them, anything else that I saw was like, a plastic whatever. Okay. So I mean, and then one of these guys, it is chock full. Waterman refills, more Parker ballpoint refills. I think there's even a cross refill in here. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This whole thing is completely full of refills. I don't know if any of them are good, but you all know this jotter refill almost never goes bad if it's less than 25 years old, right? They're all good. and there's no price, so I'm like a little nervous. And there were some more refills that were in another box. They had kind of spilled out or something, and I didn't grab them. This was like 95% of all the refills in the house that I could find. And I go up to the table and I'm like, what do you got to have for 4 bottles of ink, a ballpoint, a roller ball, and a metric ton of refills? She's like, $5 cool? Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool. In fact, and so I bring it in, and then Lisa's desk is she can see me as I walk in, and I'm carrying this pile of stuff, and she looks at me like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, I am sure all these refills. I don't know about the Waterman rollerball refills. But yeah, then there's some. Yeah, I guess there's some cross refills in here. I mean, you always need that stuff. But the Waterman ink, great for testing all my vintage stuff. I might keep this. This is a nice. I mean, it was a deal. Yeah, this is a great ballpoint, and it's really perfect. It's really really nice. I'll sell the laureate, and my day is done. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. And what makes me wonder is, so at 10 o'clock, where were the fountain pens, right? I mean, if there are 4 unopened bottles of Waterman ink, I couldn't believe it when I saw them. At first, I thought, well, maybe they're cartridges or something like that. No, they're complete full bottles of Waterman ink. So that was kind of fun. That was a fun little lunchtime little like, oh, that's why there's people in my backyard. So anyway, that put me in a good mood. And hopefully the estate sale tomorrow will be positive. It looks like there's actually something there. I just have to get there in time. So this is one of these goofy things where I don't know how it is around where you guys are, but for a lot of the estate sales around here, they have this stupid thing where you can the estate sale starts at a certain time. You can go and you can put a placeholder down. So instead of standing in line, you can sit in your car and people put like a milk jug or a hat or a stone or whatever, a pot on the ground to hold their place, which I think is, I mean, if you want it bad enough, stand in line. I don't care what the weather is. So I'm going to go early in 2 hours and get my name on the list. I could call, but then they say like, well, we'll put you on the list after everybody else who shows up. I'm like, well, I don't need that nonsense. So that's what's going on today. And then hopefully I'll be back in time. Lisa will be here for the Pelican Hubsters that are helping out. But let's take a look at what we got today. We are going to work on this guy. Okay. We're going to try to finish up this snorkel, at least get it set so, there we go. So that we can get this in place and sealed up. And then tomorrow we can, tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? Monday we can test and ship it. Test it, assemble it, ship it, seal it, all that good stuff. So we got that. We'll continue on with these guys. I'm really not positive on how this Venus is going to end up, since this nib is essentially, I just don't think there's not enough shank here. You can see where it's cracked there, and it goes pretty much all the way over. So there's no way it's going to sit in the section. And be able to stay there. So I think this, which is too bad because the tipping is great. I mean, it's nice and even. Who knows what happened here? But I think that nib is toast. And Venus 14 karat nibs, yeah, I doubt I have another one. So I think that pen, we're just gonna. I could put a steel nib in the pen, so I guess I'll just keep soaking it, but it won't end up with a gold nib, which is too bad because it's a really, really nice nice color. All right, so let's start on this one. I want to get this one cooking. Yeah, I got back and I said to myself, man, I need to go back there and just, I might stop by. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what I missed? I was too excited. All right. So as we often see, this sack protector is the type with the one notch that's wider than the rest. And the bushing, chances are high with everything unorganized. Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if this is going to be a deal where I go in and it's, they want $10 a piece for the pens, and I don't know that I need any more refills. That's certainly enough. I didn't see any other pens, but we'll see. So, so this bushing doesn't have the wide spot on it, so this can go in anyway as long as it just goes in. So. But yeah, I was down in the basement looking at stuff, and there was a woman who practically fell over when she turned around because a big plastic bin fell over and hit her in the leg. And but you wonder what pens did they use to fill that, filled with that Waterman ink? Did they have other ballpoints? Because why would you buy that? I mean, I get it, I guess. Why would you buy that many ballpoint and Waterman rollerball refills if there was only one ballpoint and one Waterman rollerball? All right. So we got that in. And the easiest way to do this sometimes is you put it in and then you put the tube in and align it up through the front, and then you can set the depth. Ordered vintage Waterman red ink today. That's a lovely red. Maybe not as nice as Sheaffer red. And yeah, a collector of refills, but they're all the same. I mean, I guess there's some blue ones in there. PB, those legacies came in today. I had no idea when they were arriving. But they showed up on my doorstep, and they're nice. They're nice. A pen might make you a Sheaffer fan. Yeah. You thought my comments about the value were valid yesterday? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just can't. If that pen is overpriced, then there are a lot of pens that are so overpriced nobody should buy them. That's how I look at it. And you're getting 50 years of history on that pen. Yeah, that's not quite right. This needs to come out a little bit more. The other thing that's nice too is when you open the box, it smells nice. It's a weird thing to say, but when you open the box, it smells nice. Okay, that looks good. And who doesn't want that as a little added benefit? So someone do me a favor and buy them so I don't have to look at them because I actually put a pen on my wish list today. Because Lisa and I started talking about, I know it's October, but we've already asked the kids, well, what do you want for Christmas? Let me know now so I can start looking. Um, or I can save up or whatever it is. And and Lisa and I we don't really I follow the philosophy that my parents had when my dad was still alive. And it was pretty much, if you need something, you just get it. If you need a tool for the shop or you need, something for the kitchen or whatever, you just buy it if it's within reason. And So that's kind of how we work. Christmas comes along. There are usually no surprises. Like, I've got a book that I want, a pen book, and this morning we were talking, and there is a pen that I kind of want that I think maybe is being discontinued. And Lisa's like, well, do you want it for Christmas? So we'll see. We'll see. It was early. It was 6:30 when we talked about it. So I was not really in a frame of mind to be really considering that. It's a couple $100. It's not a terrible lot of money. All right. All that wait just so we can wait more. I don't think this gentleman is in a terrible hurry anyway, so that works out. Which pen? I'm a big fan, and we were talking this morning because we have a I had to order some Waterman ink. Ironically, I ordered Waterman ink last night. Ironically, black and blue, which I just picked up today. But I'm not gonna use that for testing pens. That'll be just fine. And we were talking about, boy, I'd love to be able to, get something other than ink from the distributor. And, Parker doesn't really make, we talked about the 51 yesterday, and we'll talk about it from time to time. It's just not a good pen. The ballpoint's nice. But, if I don't have a physical storefront, selling ballpoints is really hard. It's retros, you can do it because there's a lot of fountain pen people who get into the retro thing. And jotters maybe sometimes, but regular ballpoints, not so much. And so we're talking, Parker doesn't have much. Their fountain pens the cheap ones are cheap and chintzy. They don't write well, and the caps don't seal, and they dry out, and they're terrible writers, and the good Parkers are ridiculously expensive. And nobody talks about them, right? When's the last time you had more than one, and I'd say just one conversation a week, but if you had 2 conversations in a week about a Parker Duofold Centennial, if it was outside of 1990, I would be surprised. Right? Nobody talks about this. Nobody gets excited. I just bought the new Parker Duofold. Nobody does that. Right? So there's no Parkers. Waterman, I like the Hemisphere. It's a good pen. The ballpoints and rollers always did pretty well, again, when you have a store. The fountain pen's okay. They're okay. That was one of my first modern fountain pen was a Hemisphere. But the Koren I really like. That's the one pen. You've got the Exception. You got a couple other ones in the middle. And they're a little pricey for steel nib pens. But when you get up into the gold nib Koren, it's a different animal altogether. I love the design. I love the shape. Not the marine amber. The nib is beautiful. It is unlike any other pen. Hello, Slumberland. How are you? But they have, in the past number of years, they've come out with a couple of, I am doing fantastic today. Thank you. They've come out with a couple of special editions with really fancy engraved caps. And I don't remember what the name of this one is, but it's a 2-tone cap. It's got a gold clip. It's got a gold band on the bottom, I believe. And then the cap design is like this really cool swirled. It's really cool engraving. I believe the pen itself is rather boring. I think the pen itself is black, and I think it's got a gold colored nib, but the cap is what makes it for me. It's it's like when you get deep into 51s. See, now I gotta go look. Hang on, let me look. I gotta look. That might be the Paris one. Yeah. Doo 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 doo. Of course, the website's not coming up now. Pen Reflections of Paris. Yes, I believe that is it. Yes. Yes. Reflections of Paris. Yeah. Let's see if I can do. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, that one. I mean, that cap is. Let's see if we get it closer. This wave cap is stunning. I mean, I don't know how else to. 18 karat nib. It's just so nice. It's so nice. And what I worry about is Waterman they don't really do much. They haven't done much in the last number of years. Um, they've had some new hemispheres. They don't really have much in their lineup above a Karen. They used to have, all sorts of cool things. But I just like that detail. That detail is really, really beautiful. So that's kind of on the short list. And actually, I think it is available actually at a discount from my distributor. So a discount off my regular wholesale price. So I can get it even cheaper. I don't know why my camera is making me look like I have jaundice, but I do not have jaundice. Slumberland, you just bought an Esterbrook Pastel Pink 2nd Gen with the off-white finials. Mint condition, exceptional with new ink sac. Paid $75. Was that a good deal? 2nd Gen would be pink with pink. So there is pink with black, and then there is pink with pink, a darker pink with pink. Is that what you got? 75. Yeah, I mean for a 2nd Gen. Yeah, pink. Yeah. Okay. I knew what you meant. That's a fair price. Yeah, I would charge a lot more for it, but so 75 is a good deal. Yeah, that's a good deal. That's fair. If it would have been like 50, I'd have bought it. But then I'm cheap. Like I mentioned yesterday, I am absolutely cheap. Oh, okay. Let's see. What are we gonna do? I want to take care of this feed here. That seemed to work well the last time. So yeah. So we'll see. I hate I hate spending a lot of money, but frugal, not cheap. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm not making it as much as I want right now. So buying a $200 pen it seems extravagant, which I know sounds weird for me, coming from me. It's not really hypocritical. I hope it doesn't come across that way. I don't usually buy things for myself these days. If I get a vintage pen or um, it's one that I've already had, or I got it in trade, or I bought 10 pens and, I sold the other 9 for a profit and I kept one. Hans, it looks like you missed all the fun estate sale haul and a visit from Lisa to Mr. Yeah, I gotta count the refills and check those out later. But being Parker refills, I bet you they're all good. They have to be all good. I would be shocked if they weren't. And with the number of vintage jotters and stuff that I come across, it's always nice to have extra refills, or something I can, if I'm not certain now, I got extra refill, I throw in, here's an extra one just in case. But I just couldn't believe it. It was like literally right outside my back door. And I may go back. Who knows what else I might find. For me, the best part was Lisa's reaction when she saw me walk in. So, because she had no idea. She had no idea, A, that there was a sale, and B, that I was going to go to a sale. She saw me take stuff out to the car, and then like I didn't come back in. When I came back in with stuff that we didn't previously own. So, her jaw dropped. Now, if you want some Santa Claus stuff, man, this is the place. It looks like Christmas threw up in the living room and the bedroom. You see, they make several different models of the Waterman reflection of Paris cap on them. Yeah. So hemisphere and excuse me. Yeah, there's a couple of variations. But I like the Karen for the same reason that I like the Legacy. It's different. And on the Karen, even more so because of the shape of the barrel, and it's just a cool pen. It's just a cool pen. You would go back, sale we went to this morning was miserable, poor quality and high prices. I mean, this was I walked in, I was like, oh man, what am I in for? I mean, because I've been to a lot of very organized sales, and everything is nicely laid out, and This was like, there was junk in boxes. I mean, I had to go digging in boxes to find the refills in the ink. We'll see. Nightmare to fix. To fix what? The Legacy or the Karen? Yeah, it's a plain solid metal cap. Man, I like it if it's like a two-tone design, you know? If it's two-tone, if it's single-tone, you know. Oh, the Karen nib? Yeah, well, there's that, but don't drop it. That's my sage advice for the day. Don't drop it, you won't have any problems. I was smart not to stock the Peanuts Esterbrook. Oh my God, fail. It's challenging to look at that like it's anything other than a money grab. And what they could have done. Yeah, Captain Tala, yeah. What they could have done with it. I mean, it almost reminds me of the previous owner, what the previous owner would have done were it his chance to do a collaboration. Did the designer actually read Peanuts? Come on. Yeah. I mean, the nib is cute. The nib is cute. I will give them that. That is just, it's fun. That's really fun. The clip? What? I haven't seen anybody say what I'm thinking that clip looks like. And it's probably not in polite company to say that. But nobody's said it out loud yet. But how was that? You know, and then when you laser engrave it, it looks cheap, right? And I think for the most part, most laser engraving looks cheap, but we've grown accustomed to it. You know, all Yovo nibs are laser engraved. My old Yovo nibs were laser engraved. And, you know, you do the best. I'm spot on with what the clip resembles. You haven't even seen the pen. Oh, well, let me help you out with that. Let's see if it's on the Esterbrook site. It's not even on their Esterbrook site. Okay, so here is. Well, you know, I don't like to promote any other dealer, but you're a lesbian, so there even I can see. um, wow. Yeah, so that's the I guess maybe that's not laser engraved. Maybe that is. Maybe that's stamped. Okay, that's not too bad. But I mean, the design is the design of that clip is. I guess they got a little finial on the top. Peanuts 75 pen pal. But where's that design? Right? Isn't that what should be on the pen? You're sure Twitch would block any description you can make in the clip? Yeah. Where's the zigzag? If it were a zigzag, no problem. I might even be able to deal with the clip, right? No zigzag. Okay, so let's see. Let's go. A zigzag clip would have been great. Yeah, this is Lucy. I don't know what this is. Did Lucy have a zigzag striped shirt? But here's the one. I mean, these are $150. $150. Now, I guess the only thing I can say is Snoopy epic fail. Snoopy's the least offensive. It's the least original. I'm probably gonna get banned from Esterbrook for just saying this stuff. And here's what I'll say. I guarantee this pen will sell out. You're a former graphic designer, yeah. So what I have to say is nothing against the Esterbrook brand. I think the SDs in general are solid pens. They're good pens. I stand behind them. Really? What is this? What is this little shirt thing here? I don't understand what this shirt is. Is it a pen sleeve? What's... Waited to see the review? Yeah. Should we not have... I mean, the first thing I would have thought is a pen cleaner rag. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, it's a cute idea. The first thing I thought is have 4 or 5 Snoopies on the barrel, Snoopy dancing or something. That would be cute. The word Snoopy? We used to have this saying back when I was in my younger years, and I was an intern for the Yamaha Corporation, musical instrument division. And we would see something goofy and we go, there was a meeting about this. Yeah, Red Baron, wouldn't that be cool? And then maybe make some play off the clip. So you've got something on the barrel and something on the clip, maybe? Woodstock, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Will we be seeing those pens at Pen Swap? Yeah. Yeah. You're not a Peanuts fan? I thought we were friends. You thought 70s bathroom sweet avocado was bad? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. It's all good, Hans. It's all good. I best not dwell on that. No, people who buy this, they did do that other pen that had a box that was like a plaid hunting shirt but had nothing to do with the pen. Yeah, I mean, you let the... No, it's all right. All right. I mean, it was going to come up eventually, and it's going to come up again. And it'll taper off, but it's gonna be like... Does anybody remember the conversation we had the day we talked about the The worst product launch of all time. Well, actually, the second worst product launch of all time that we had, the Platinum Curadas. Young female journalers by Esty. Is that who we think the target market is? Yeah, yeah. Well, and I heard, you don't have anything against peanuts. You just don't really care. Yeah. Hope whoever buys them loves them. What I hear reports from the London show was it last weekend? They sold out. What? So, it's going to sell out. Good for them. And to some degree, you want the least amount of effort so that a product sells out. Right? I mean, if you're only going to have X number of pieces, put the least amount of effort in to make it sell out. And this is the least amount of effort, I think. The Curiosity is not that bad, but it had a hard time before and after the release. Yeah, the before part of the release was the worst for the dealers. I mean, there's a lot that the consumers didn't see on that launch. Yeah, it does encourage lazy design. Yeah, I mean, what next? Everything's just going to have a word on it. Next, it's just going to be white. Yeah, the cracked feeds. First it didn't come with a converter, and then it did come with a converter, and then you could discount it, but then you weren't supposed to discount it. Yeah, it. And that being said, I have one. And then the tool broke. Let's see, does this have a cracked feed? Let me check. Yep, mine's got a cracked feed. I wonder if I can send it back and get a new one. Two are broken, yeah. Yeah, the original price was because it was like what, $80 retail, and so we were selling them for 64, and we pre-sold them, and we sold a bunch at $64, and it honked me off because I'm like, well, these people would have bought it at 80, and so I just lost money because there's all these online retailers that insist on if there's a allowable discount, they immediately go there. They lose margin. Curidas has a cult following of sorts. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool pen. I don't know if it's worth the money. And I hate the. We're never gonna repair any pens today. I hate that, and I don't know what they do now. But originally they were part of their advertising was it was a retractable pen at half the price or something like that of the competitor. Well, it doesn't compete. It just doesn't compete. There's nothing about it that's the only thing that it's comparable to a vanishing point is you click a button and a nib comes out. It's not a gold nib. It's not metal. It's chintzy plastic, and then there was the whole deal about the removable clip, but then that knock is ridiculous, right? I mean, I don't even know if does this fit in my pocket? I should wear this or oh, it does actually. It does sort of fit in my pocket. But I buy shirts with really deep pockets, so yeah, it's not in the same league as their competitors, but they were advertising that it was half the cost, one of the colors is very close. Yeah, this is pretty close to that Kumpu. Yeah, it's an awful spot for a retailer. I mean, it was a terrible launch. We lost money, and then we sold pens with converters, but then we did an add-on, so then people bought add-on converters, and what was I supposed to do? Did they want 2 converters then? Am I supposed to refund it? What am I going to do? Oh, yeah. Who knows? All right, let's sack some pens here. I'm gonna put this clip back together. I think this pen is. We're gonna deal with this when we deal with it. And, actually, first things first. Let's make sure these are clean. Okay, now please don't put it in your pocket. It will stay in your shirt. Yeah, no, this is, and I loved it because I had a friend and a client in who traveled regularly to London, and he was in London like the weekend it was released, and he decided he was going to take the clip off, so he watched a video of a well-known retailer who um, showed the absolute wrong way how to take the clip off, and he broke it. He broke the little notch, so he couldn't ever put the clip back on. And then, of course, now the pen looks weird because there's this broken bit off of it. Yeah. And then people would bend the spring, and if you bend the spring, then nothing works right. The spring has to be perfect, and if you bend it, it's almost impossible to get the spring bent back in the correct shape for this whole mechanism to operate. In fact, this is a little stiff right now, but I had another one to your grail list by talking about the Waterman reflections cap. Yeah, well, sorry, not sorry. If you want one, let me know. I can get you one. But yeah, and so the retailer was, or the distributor actually stopped selling for a while. They stopped selling Curidas because they needed the ones they had in stock for parts. So they cannibalized them. So when someone bent a spring or broke something, they could send out a part. I couldn't buy them because they're like, yeah, we can't sell them. We need them for parts. Because people were breaking them left and right. So all that said, do I like the Curidas? No, I don't like it. Don't care for it. I don't know why I have one. We had one as a tester. It's a curiosity, if nothing else. Much prefer them. I mean, as far as the retractables go, I think the vanishing point's I don't know. It dries out far too easy. You call it a cautionary tale. Yeah. That's for sure. They needed to make it like the original Platinum Knock. I don't know. Sometimes I get the impression that Platinum is so definitely the bottom of the big three Japanese makers. Why not get a Pen-O-Matic instead? Late 1940s American pen technology at its best. Is that? I think you sent me a video of that. I met this. Speaking of the Kumpu, or however you pronounce it, I had some people mad at me because I pronounced it incorrectly. I probably still am. I met the designer of the Kampu when I was in Japan. That was kind of fun. Didn't realize it until after the after party when we were in some bar. Just a retractable bib pen made here in the late 40s, early 50s, equally as good as the Curidas. Actually, the Curidas is far superior. Well, that's not saying much. Oh yeah, this needs a breather tube. Need to find a breather tube for this guy. Did you mention the Platinum Knock? Do you know how to disassemble one? I can't find anyone who does. I've never had the distinct pleasure of owning one. I know you've got both versions. I had bid on many, and I came up on the short end of the stick so many times I lost count. So I've never seen one in person. No, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul here, but this pen in this bin is not doing me any good just sitting there. So I'd like to get a knock one of these days. Well, that might not work. Might have to go to plan B on this one. Pilot Sailor Platinum. Rank vintage pen quality to you. Yeah, it's probably in that. Probably in that order. And it's not necessarily quality. I mean, 3776 is a real nice pen, and it makes some nice nibs. You only have 2 of the 4 possible catalog knock permutations they made. Each version with 14 karat and 18 karat nibs. Wow. All right, so I'm going to see if I've got a breather tube here. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Ever see the Pilot Lovell? It's a plastic pen from the 70s. You actually love it, writes like a needlepoint. Which is your preference? Pilot Love. Boy, I don't know. Love 2. Interlude music, yeah. You have a Parker question if you have a minute. I have exactly 68 of them. Shoot. All right, so I got a breather tube, but it's too big, but it's really close. And this is too thin. I think I want to use the new breather tube, but just ream it out a little bit. Take care, Juicy. Is the Parker Eversharp Arrow the same as the 19? I do not believe so. Let's consult the expert here. Okay, yeah, so the Eversharp, the Arrow looks like your 45. Not the Canadian Arrow. Not that Arrow. But it looks like a 45. The 19 looks like a 45. But it has this less integrated nib. There's no clutch ring. It looks much cheaper. But the Arrow usually looks like a 45. It just has a plastic cap, essentially, instead of a metal cap. Whenever I have a question on Parker stuff, I go to parkerpens.net. If I don't know the answer, that's where you're going to find it. Oops. People have been surfing Spear Bob's eBay. Is that on Spear Bob's eBay? Well, I don't have the right collet here for this. Fit in there? No, it won't fit in there. Yeah, the arrow is definitely the better of the two. It just doesn't want to tighten up. It's as tight as it goes. Well, yeah, that's going to be about right. I used to buy a lot of stuff from Spear Bob. I guess we're gonna try this. Really like a slightly smaller. Drill bit. This one. All right. Obviously, I got to trim that. And I'm going to put a little bit of shellac on there to seal it up. All right, now I got to see what this is. Love 2. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Oh, it's got a funky clip. Oh, okay. This one. Ooh, look at that green. I like the orange one. Orange looks good. All right, well, we're going to... I don't know why I save these, but I do save these little fragments of breather tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal that in there, and then we'll cut it later. Once we've determined how big the sack needs to be. As a repair guy, I'm supposed to save everything. Wait till my lot of crap goes up after I die. We don't know why Brian saved this bag of Esterbrook marked sacks. But here it is. Worth a fortune. Yeah, don't throw them away, kids. As long as my kids don't spend all the money in one place on those Esterbrook marked sacks that I have cornered the market on. And those notch J bars, yeah. The broken ones, yeah. Actually, I throw those out. Eye. Piece of dried sack. Yeah, didn't one of the websites say it was a Korean product that love? I had a Korean made Pilot stainless steel thing. It was so bad. I forget what I did. I might have even, I can't believe I threw it away, but it was just, oh, that sucks. Clean this nib. And I'm not going in any particular order today. Jacob from Food A Fan actually tossed a Pilot MYU he didn't like when they first came out. This was a steel nibbed, stainless steel body. Very cylindrical, thin, kind of reminded me of like a Slim Targa, but with a cheap Japanese steel nib, marked made in Korea. It was just so awful. I mean, it was dry, scratchy, extra fine. And I hated it because the funny thing is, the funny part about that pen is every now and again, and this is a weird phenomenon that happens when you live your life around pens, is it shows up. It was just in a pen cup one day. I don't know why. Don't remember putting it there. I mean, it could have been dry extra fine. Those are factory. Oh no, this was nobody wanted this. They're not a person on the planet that wanted this nib. I guarantee you. It was. I mean, it was. It was not. It was not usable. It was that bad. I opened it up just so we could get some flow. Um, and then I think I sold it for $15 or something. Are there boxes I can buy for pens that do not have their own boxes? Uh, what's the uh, why? Just so you can have a box? Or are you trying to sell it? Um, trying to keep it organized. I'm sure there are. Who sells them? I don't know. I don't think most people care if you're selling something. Um, I don't think most people care. It's kind of short. This one we use a big percent. Just try to keep it organized with the info on it. You're probably better off getting something that's more like a pen chest of sorts. The problem with numbering pens, and I used to do this, and I stopped after I got divorced the first time around, is that it becomes difficult to keep up with, at least for me. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But it almost became a full-time job trying to keep everything straight. And it was not fun. And anything that doesn't make numbering pens, um, sorry, we're over on the YouTube side. We're talking about keeping pens in boxes and organized, and Tivik jewelry tags for the clips and numbering them. Um, I mean, I had a very elaborate system. With an 8-digit alphanumeric code. First 4 digits were the manufacturer. Second 4 digits were a numerical number 0001 to 9999. But it was a highly You know someone who prints small QR code labels for each of their pens to interface with it? Oh, that's too much. I mean, if you had 20 pens, that'd be one thing. When you start getting more than that, then I don't want pen collecting to be a chore. I like being organized. Would be nice to know, write down history of each pen, but I'm just not doing it anymore. It's not for me. But if it works for you, great. Whatever system you want to use. But yeah, I had the little labels with the string on them, which are highly annoying. Because they get caught together and they get hung up and tangled, and I eventually just said the heck with it. I'm done. A couple of these pens have been sitting around for a while, so it'd be really great to get them done. Brian, do you keep original stickers on vintage pens? See, I'm only asking controversial questions. Yes. Always. Always keep stickers. Part of their history. You did. I know you didn't ask me, But I'm going to answer. If it's a rare, uncommon, or historically significant pen, then those with stickers should be preserved and not used. If it's something really common from later, then use it, but keep the sticker on. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I find it interesting that there are plenty of pens, and I'll find plenty of Esterbrook's with original stickers on them that were used and used heavily, but they never took the stickers off. Now, of course, the important thing to note is that for a long time, obviously, stickers weren't, price bands were the original label, right? Paper bands, and those are really susceptible to damage just by even handling, or they get loose. And on some pens, they're just exceptionally rare. They're just, because they're easily destroyed, and they would just, you find piles of Japanese pens from the 60s to 80s with original stickers in decent shape that were heavily used. Yeah, I've seen that. It's crazy. All right, so I can't put that one in. I can't put that one in, but I can do this one. They were making progress here. You'll see tons of Esterbrook's with stickers. But when you see an Esterbrook with the paper label, that's something really special, because they were instructed, and I know I've talked about this before. The retailer was instructed essentially to sell the nib first. Once the customer had decided on what nib they wanted, then you would go and say, okay, well, what color, what size, and what color body do you want? And then they would look to see if they had the LJ in green with a 9556. And if they didn't, they would pull the LJ in green, take the nib out, rip the sticker off, and throw it away, and put the 9556 nib in there so the customer had it. So if you find one with a paper band on it, price band on it, it's really pretty, it's pretty special. I would save every one of those that I come across, because most people don't even know that Esterbrook, put price bands on there, because the stickers are so common. You got a Safari with the original packaging, mint condition. Yeah. And you got to be careful with some of those packaging, because they get brittle. And if you start opening it up and pushing it out, actually what gets brittle is the part that the pen sits in, the tray. It gets brittle and it cracks. So if you're constantly opening it and they're tight, it'll crack and break. Yeah, Esterbrook had a smart thing going with selling a pen and offering a plethora of nibs to use. Yeah, 32 at any given point. Sheaffer offered a ton of nib choices too. Yeah. They didn't really seem to advertise it as often, though. I mean, because they weren't replaceable by the end user. I'm sure there was probably some advertising, but. I'm just dipping this in a little Dr. D's to see if I can get some of the ink out of the threads here. I mean, you got a white pen, you want it white. Did people wear out the nibs? I mean, I think Esterbrook, I read somewhere, they expected your folded over nibs to last 8 years. 7 or 8 years, something like that was a lifespan. But that's like the only pen you had, and you wrote with it 8 hours a day, kind of thing. Yeah, that did all right. Over at it, I've got, you can kind of see some ink in there. We'll see if we can get it out with a little bit of. I don't think it's doing as good a job in the inside, but anything that gets out is. Didn't work so good on that, but you don't really. Sheaffer did advertise nib choice frequently, but not as much as Esterbrook. There were a few models with user serviceable nibs at a point. Okay, yeah. They're not nearly as good as Esterbrook's offerings. By the way, you have a WAS at a point display case that needs to be filled. If anyone has 20 or 30 of them, they want to sell as a collection. I'll have to look. I probably, if I have some, I have common pieces, I'm sure. Oof. You're back. Listen, time to wrap up almost here. I'm gonna put these in the ultrasonic real quick. Then Venus bought Esterbrook, made just fine in medium. No, they made more than that. I think they There are broads. Okay, fine, medium, and broad. And extra fine. They're extra fine too, in the Venus. Yeah, they did 4. I don't think they did anything more than that. Yeah, well, I mean, Esterbrook, by the time Venus bought Esterbrook had distilled down to 3. Fine, medium, and broad. And that's what they called them. They took the 2556, the 2668, and the 2968, and they just relabeled them fine, medium, and broad, and that was it. Question for you, Brian. What pen brand do you like now that you never thought you would? Modern pen, I'm assuming you mean? I didn't think I would. Either modern or vintage. I would say maybe not brand so much as mode. But I've actually been using a good quantity of ballpoints lately. I like I actually use a Cross Classic Century ballpoint every day. It gets the job done. Is Lisa here to hear this? Yeah, no. It gets the job done, and on my new invoices, they print out on like label on a label printer. You can't use a fountain pen on them. It won't work, and you can't use like a gel refill because it'll smear. So the cross ballpoint actually works. I mean, it'll work forever. It's really a durable pen. I don't have it here. I've got it sitting out by my shipping table, but I never thought I would like it. But brand, I don't know. I never thought I'd like. I guess maybe I never thought. You gotta go race for a new COVID shot. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Thanks for contributing to the discussion. I never thought I'd like Parker as much. And I do enjoy older Parkers. A complete set of Esterbrook nibs would be a worthy collecting goal. It's a substantial undertaking, difficult enough to be interesting. Yeah. And if you add in imprint variations, it would be a challenge. I mean, forget the 66, 68. Forget that one. I mean, there's a handful of them out there. I mean, if you got everything but the 66, 68, I mean, it would be a nice collection. Because you still got to get a 9312 and a 2312 and a 1314 and a 2460, you know. Well, here's the follow up to that. If you're going to get a complete set of Esterbrook nibs, without them all, will still be complete. Do you consider $4,000 and $6,000 series? And I'll let you think about that for just a minute. Because I know some of you are going, huh? And if you don't know what a 4,000 or 6,000 series Esterbrook nib is, I'm not surprised. That might be an unfair question. So that's interesting. So the inner cap is literally a cylinder. If memory serves, 4,000 and 6,000 were nibs that were designed by Esterbrook to be used as replacement nibs for other fountain pens. So it's just a pen, not a feed, not a collar. And I don't believe they were actually engraved with the Esterbrook name on them. So unless you know what you're looking for, they're very hard to find because they look like just every other cheap steel nib from the time period. But if we're just talking about nibs that fit Esterbrook's, then you got 1, 2, 3. Are you counting 5 and 7,000 series nibs too? Dipless? I mean, you could do 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. Dipless are 5 and 7. There's the mythical 66, 68, and then your 4 and 6,000 meant for other pens. And that to me would be a complete collection. But in you can go as far as you wish to complete set. 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. What would you do if you wanted a complete set? Okay. Yeah. 5 and 7 would be difficult if you just did 5 and 7. Because there are 2 versions of the 7. And the early version of the 7 is stupid hard to find. Really stupid hard to find. I mean, because they were meant to be disposable. They were meant to be tossed, thrown away. That's all you get. You want a complete set of snorkel nibs? It was impossible. Yeah. I don't, and the thing is I don't know. The problem is we don't know what the actual complete list is. Let's see here. So this, keep hitting the wrong thing there. Sorry. The catalog says one thing, but they would make anything upon request and mark them. Yeah, the catalog's useless. Yeah. This is, as far as I am concerned, and I haven't checked this lately and updated it. And actually I know there's at least one that's missing on here. The most complete and accurate list of all the numbers of nibs that Estabrook made. I've got frosted nibs on the bottom. Those are just variations of 9,000, some of these in here. There are other websites out there that have lists of all the Estabrook nibs, but they're not correct. They assume that because they made it in a 2 and a 9, they also made it in a 1, or they assume that because if they made it in one nib, they made it in all 3, and that's not always the case. I've seen so many catalogs and listings, and I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of Estabrooks. I'm a firm believer that if it's not on this list, it doesn't exist unless somebody shows me otherwise. This is on my website, of course. Esterbrook.net/nibs.html. But this does not take into account 4,000 and 6,000 series. It doesn't take into account variations of, there's one nib that's not, the 1554 Greg variation is not listed on here. And the 9555 big imprint variations on here. So those weird variations aren't listed on here. And you could even go so far as to say some of them came without the Made in USA imprint on them, and that kind of jazz. But if you're just getting nibs, that's the list. What does that end up being? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 30. 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69 different variations, and that includes the 5 and the 7,000 series nibs. What did I say? 59? 69? I forgot already. That includes the 66, 68. There might be a couple early variations of stuff that I don't have included on here, but this is the most complete list there is. A 5442 Falcon stub, that would be awesome to have. I don't know that I've ever seen a 5442. A 5284 would be amazing. It's a pity that the 7,000 series only came in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. But you could get a stub in a 5,000 series. So, but yeah, it's, yeah, it would be fun. Here's the 66, 68. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible picture. It looks like a snorkel nib, but it is not fully wrapped around. It actually stops kind of at the edges here. It doesn't wrap all the way around the feed. That's the Holy Grail. Do I have pictures of the 8440? I don't have pictures of the 8440 here, but one of these days I'll update the website. Well, I'm at a kind of a stopping point here, so I think I'm going to cut out early, even earlier than I thought. I mean, we got a couple hours in. Sorry to get you on a tangent. You know, I could talk nib obscure all day. Yeah, yeah. You make me want to put them up like in a display or something. You know, but then you're gonna kill me. There's variations in the box. Different variations in the box design. Almost as hard, if not harder, to find the original box on some of those. Of course, the 5 and the 7,000 series only came in boxes of 12, 24, 100. And, I don't know what the denominations were, but I think the minimum was 12. So they didn't come in individual boxes because they had no feed, right? But there are some variations in the box designs for like 9,000 series. For sure, 1,000 series, they were red and silver, and then they went to red and cream. You can get them in different languages. They're in Spanish. You can get them made in, I think there's special boxes for Brazil. So, and Canadian boxes. There are boxes marked Venus Esterbrook for some of the nibs. So it would be actually a fairly easy to start, reasonably inexpensive until you got to the last 10 nibs. And then those would be like any other collection, right? You get to the last 10 and it's shell out the money. Because that 66, 68 nib these days, I bet you can't get one for $500. Because I know 3 people who have one, 4 people, and that might be it. There's less than, I bet there's less than 6. And we've talked about this before. But, you know, someday we all pass on. Got to go to somebody. So, anyway. Well, I am going to get ready for my Pelican Hub volunteers, and I've got to go sign up for my estate sale tomorrow. And maybe hit this estate sale again. This woman's probably going to think I'm nuts. I don't think I'm going to buy any more refills. Unless there's other stuff there that I need that I missed the first time around. But yeah, have a great night. Thanks, Hans. You can look at it. Yeah, the picture is blurry. It's a classic blurry picture. By all the refills. Yeah, I might. I'd probably get them for $1. I should have just picked them up and thrown them in the box because I think they came out of the box. But whatever. It's a classic picture. It's very blurry. There's a splotch of pens. You can't really make much out. You know, they could be all cracked and broken for all I know. No nibs. We'll see. Thankfully, it doesn't open until like 9 a.m. So I'm going to drop Lisa off at work and then just head straight there. So it should be easy. I'll be in and out because I'm not buying anything else. And hopefully, fingers crossed, what I see in the picture is what I want. So, all right, everyone, have a great evening, a great afternoon, great morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Cardinal Pens podcast. All right, take care, everyone. Good night.